Warning, spoilers ahead. The following is a recap of the movie Escape Room from 2019. The movie begins with a guy falling inside a library where he tries to solve a puzzle. The walls of the room starts to move. He freaks out and starts looking for clues. The clues don't work and we see him about to get crushed. The movie then cuts to 3 days earlier as we see Zoe listening to a lecture about physics. After the teacher asks a question, the girl writes down the answer but shies out from saying it out loud. After that, the teacher speaks to her, saying that she has to do things that scares her. We then meet Jason, who is a cocky stockbroker who gets a call from a client telling him he will be sending him a gift. Then we meet Ben, the guy we saw in the beginning of the movie. He asks his boss for a promotion, but he is declined. His boss then points out his drinking problem. Jason receives a gift from the client, a black cube with the message saying, "For always thinking outside the box." The man then leaves. Zoe is in her room. She is asked by her friend to come spend Thanksgiving with her, but the girl refuses. She says that she wants to stay alone and do some nerdy stuff. After her friend left, Zoe sees the mirror shaking. She has a panic attack and her surroundings changes to the inside of a plane, and we hear screaming of people. Zoe suddenly wakes up, heavily breathing and sweating. The friend is about to leave. Outside, the girl finds a mailbox with Zoe's name on it. It was from her teacher. Zoe finds a black cube within it with a message saying, "Open new doors." Ben arrives at work early. He finds waiting for him a black cube too. The message says, "A chance to escape." We see Jason, Zoe and Ben trying to open the cube. After a lot of trying, they finally succeed and receives an invitation from Minos Escape Room Experience with the chance to win $10,000. Next we see Ben arriving at the address where Minos' building is. He meets with Amanda. The woman then heads inside and gets a tag with her name, and she is asked to leave her phone. The agent thanks her for her service, which she found very weird. When about to go up, she is joined by Danny. The boy is an experienced escape room player. He manages to sneak in a phone. In the waiting room, Amanda finds Jason, Zoe, Mike and the others. The lady behind the frosted window tells her to sit and wait. After being asked about his hand injury, Jason says it was a hitchhiking incident. Amanda asks Zoe if she knows her from somewhere. Amanda then reads a paper about a fire accident and she seems very shocked. Danny, who has done 93 escape rooms, explained the concept to the others that revolved around solving puzzles in time. Mike says that his nephew also likes these games and that he was the one to sign him up. It seems this room has never been beaten before. Then Danny explains the rules and tells them they must solve the puzzle before time runs out, and if they lose, someone will come in and explain it to them and the game will end. He says they should wait for the game master to come and tell them the rules and setup. Ben wants to smoke and tries to go out. The handle detaches, revealing a dial. He tells the others. Danny says that this must be an escape room and that the game has already begun. Thinking she found a clue on a book, Zoe tries the combination. There was a noise and the room suddenly lit up and it was getting hot. Amanda freaks out and wants to ask for a hint, but the woman behind the frosted window repeats the same phrase over. "Please have a seat, someone will be there shortly." A snow globe with a sailboat attracts Jason's attention. Soon the pole lit up in red too, radiating more heat. Zoe finds the key to the frosted window. After they open it, they found a mannequin. Suddenly the phone starts ringing. The voice of a woman welcomes them and prompts them to follow the rules. After he hung up, the room plunges in red and steel shutters seal up the windows. Amanda, who is claustrophobic, freaks out. A big fan starts to blow hot air. Zoe helps Amanda and brings her water and sees burning scars on her neck. Zoe finds a clue about Dr. Wu-Tan Yu and using the coasters. She pushes one on the table and an exit vent opens up, but the exit closes when she releases the coaster. They try to hold the coasters while Jason goes first and finds an exit. They start leaving one by one. The heat gets worse. Zoe uses glasses filled up with water to keep the coasters pressed. Amanda has a panic attack and remembers events from when she was in the war. Zoe goes to help while Danny and Ben stays behind. They are out of water and starts blaming each other when suddenly the roof lights up in fire. Ben uses a drink from his bottle to fill up the last cup and the vents open up. The two escape just in time as the whole room is blazed. On the other side, the group freaks out as they now know that this is not a game. Jason says he doesn't care and that he won't lose. Amanda Amanda gestures to the camera saying she wants to stop playing. The group then tries to stay positive and concentrate on finishing the game. They try to find the combination for the lock on the door, and Ben finds clues that remind him of the memory of a car accident. He gives the others the clue that was the name of Rudolph, a reindeer from the song. The group then goes outside. They find themselves in a snow forest setup. The cabin's door closes up behind them. Danny wanders off ahead of the group and tells them that the snow cracking is just a sound design. He finds an invisible wall. Suddenly vents open up, blowing cold air. The group splits to find an escape, and Jason finds a small metallic door. Amanda finds a red jacket. She says they should take turn wearing it, but Jason seems very shocked as he stares at the red jacket. Ben steps in a fishing hole and freezes his leg after attaching a magnet that Zoe found to the fishing rod. They used it to pull up a big cube of ice with a metallic frame with a key inside it. They ask Ben for the lighter to melt the ice. He throws it to them. Danny goes to get it and the ice blows up underneath his feet and he falls into the water. The group tries to help him, but it is impossible and the boy drowns. The group now has to accept that this game is real and they could die. They suspect Ben for being the game master and they all get into an argument, after which they decide that getting out is a priority. They use their body heat to melt the cube. Jason has a flashback to when he was stranded on a boat with his friend who was wearing the same type of red jacket. They finally get the key out and quickly used it to open the metallic door, but the actual opening shows up on the other side of the ice field. They rush to it and the ice starts exploding underneath their feet, but they made it out in time. They found themselves in a bar. It was upside down. Suddenly the room starts shaking and they feel themselves getting higher and higher, as if they were in an elevator. The phone starts ringing. The earpiece drops down. Mike answers and there was a sharp noise and the music starts playing loud. Jason sees a door that needs a doorknob. The sharp noise plays again and the music stops. Suddenly the floor collapses and Ben saves Mike, who is about to fall. They all get out of the floor. As the music plays again, they notice that they can walk on the floor as long as the music is playing. Zoe tries to solve a sliding puzzle. Meanwhile, the music stops and another part of the floor collapses. After finishing the puzzle, they found the code was the numbers on the striped balls. Amanda enters the combination, but it was wrong, and the platform where Zoe and the others were hanging to came off the wall. Zoe tries to get off the platform, but she falls down and passes out. She sees herself in the plane accident and sees her dead mother. Jason helps the girl. She tells Amanda to enter the code in reverse since the room is upside down. The woman tries again and succeeds in opening the lock and gets a doorknob shaped as an 8-ball. They then wait on the other side while Amanda tries to cross. She accidentally drops the ball. She jumps down and grabs it in time before it fell over. Music then stops. The floor collapses and she jumps and hangs to the phone wire. The group hurry up and extends a pool cue to her. She fails to grab it and after getting too tired, she lets go and falls to her death. The group is shocked. Jason uses the doorknob and opens the exit. After going to the other side, Jason tells Zoe to get over Amanda's death and think about surviving. The group then finds elements about their past and medical files about each one of them. Each of them had a survivor story. Amanda's blast during the war, Zoe's plane crash, Jason getting stranded on a boat with his friend, Ben's car accident, and Mike who survived a mine cave-in. The organizers seemed to know everything about them down to the smallest details. It was as if they were testing their luck in this game. The TV suddenly turns on with an ad about Dr. Wu-Tan Yu and the group begins the race to solve the puzzle. Zoe says they should not play by the rules. She starts breaking the cameras. Jason tells them that they are about to be gassed. He says that they must use the EKG machine on one of them to get a high heartbeat signal before the time goes up. They use this on Mike and the man dies. Ben tries to revive him with CPR. Meanwhile, Jason uses the machine on him and tries to calm down to get a slow heartbeat. After reaching 50, a congratulation message appears and the vent opens up. He escapes while Ben tries to get Zoe to come with them, but she refuses, saying that was not the way out. Ben escapes and Zoe collapses. In the next room, Ben blames Jason for killing Mike. He says that he must have killed his friend too to get the jacket. The man threatens him and tells him to get back to finding clues. The two then find a valve. After they turn it, it opens a trapdoor. door. They find some weird substance is left on their hand and they start to hallucinate. A message on the trapdoor says they could escape, but it would be a bad idea if they don't find the antidote before. The two go into crazy mode and Ben accidentally finds the antidote. A single dose for one person. A fight breaks between them. Ben pushes Mike, who hits his head and falls unconscious. Then he gets the antidote and used it. His mind goes back to normal and he goes down the trapdoor and falls directly into the next room, the library. The same scene we saw in the beginning of the movie. Back in the gas room, a cleaning team comes in and finds the bodies of Mike and Zoe. The girl suddenly gets up and attacks them. She gets a gun and hurry up outside from the secret door. Meanwhile, Ben is getting crushed. He takes a shield and hides in the fireplace. A door suddenly opens up on the other side and he escapes. He finds himself in a big hangar. Suddenly a man appears, telling him to relax and that he won. And we see on the wall a projection of the images of those who played the game. All except Ben had their pictures crossed over. The man reveals himself to be the game master and we see him checking another screen with bets on the players, where we see that only one person placed a bet on Ben. The man goes on telling him about the game and how it was sponsored by powerful personalities in the world. Meanwhile, we see Zoe escaping. After asking if he could leave, the game master strangles Ben. The young man pulls out the shard stuck in his leg and stabs the game master. We see the system getting taken over by someone and the image of the GM is added to the players. Zoe arrives and shoots him in the back and he escapes. Zoe's cross is removed on the screen. The man jumps over her and they start fighting. Ben smashes a bottle of wine on his face. He gets the gun and shoots him. On the screen, the game master's face is crossed and Zoe and Ben are declared winners. The two finally escape. The girl brings Ben to the hospital and after that she calls the police. When they got to the building, they found nothing inside. The place was empty. The girl tells them what happened, but the inspector thinks she is crazy. She tells them to ask Ben, but the man says that they found traces of drugs in his blood. The girl then notices a message saying "No way out" with a drawing of a plane in flame crashing. No way out turns out to be Dr. Wu-Tan Yu, a nanogram that keeps showing up during the whole game. The police goes away and the girl screams with rage. 6 months pass and we meet Zoe and Ben. Zoe shows him research she was doing. The deaths of the other players was covered up as accidents. Ben tells her to let it go, but she refuses and shows him that she found the coordinates of the company behind it all, somewhere in Manhattan. She tells him that she booked a flight and he agrees to go with her. After that, we see a plane about to crash. The flight attendant is looking around for clues. Finally, they manage to open the door to the cockpit, but it was too late and the plane crashed into a mountain. We find out that it was a simulation and we hear the puzzle maker speaking, saying that they are ready for the next game. One of the engineers tells the puzzle maker that the survival probability is only 4%. The puzzle maker shows him the flight tickets of Zoe and Ben and says he's glad that the girl got over her fear of planes. He then announces the beginning of a new game. And that was the end of the movie Escape Room. Thanks for watching, subscribe and see you next time. Bye bye.